Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome here if it's your first time. In today's video I'm reviewing the Shozy P20 planar driver IEMs. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. That is the box for the Shozy P20. Not a lot to talk about. Inside, however, you do get a pretty nice carrying case. I like this one because it's a bit firmer than your average zipper case. It feels nice and sturdy. And in there's I think 6 pairs of silicone ear tips, along with, of course, the IEMs themselves. And let's have a look at those. That's what they look like. So they've got this pretty cool, I don't know what you'd call it, steampunk, sci-fi maybe, laser etched design on the faceplates there. The shells are entirely aluminium alloy with a matte finish, and they're really nicely built. They're comfortable as well, so long-term wearing, no problems. And overall, I'm quite pleased with the shells. By the way, the price of the P20 here is $139, and that driver inside is a 14.5mm planar driver, so it's a pretty big one. Let's have a look at this cable now, and it is a lovely cable. It's a little bit thinner, got a nice slim termination there, all very lightweight, nice and flexible, no noticeable microphonics, and yeah, pretty pleased with that cable. But let's get cracking on with the sound here. Now the P20, it's nice and efficient. You can use this straight out of a smartphone or a low-powered dongle DAC. Don't need to worry about that at all. Considering that large 14.5mm driver, you might expect the P20 to be somewhat of a bass head IEM. However, Shozy chose to implement a carefully calibrated bass for an immersive yet a balanced sound. So it is elevated, but it's pretty tastefully done. It's not a huge bass, but it does have a bit more mid-bass and lower mid-range warmth and body. But rather than aim for sheer volume in the bass, the P20's lows are all about restrained authority. And in addition to sounding authority, the bass sounds nice and natural. The enriched lows coupled with the sustained decay on the bass imparts a cozy ambience to the stage and the mid-range. It's not the most agile or nimble bass, but it can shake things up when needed with some solid low-end extension and impact. Now the mid-range is reasonably upfront, but it's not really the focus of the P20's sound. It's mostly in line with the treble and just slightly behind the bass. And while this gives the mids plenty of fullness and warmth, they're not the most detailed or nuanced mids. Vocals possess a natural richness and depth, maintaining a balanced density without veering into excessive thickness. A subtle lift in the upper mid-range adds nuance without inducing any hint of shoutiness, but there is a little bit slightly subdued nature to the upper mid-range. Furthermore, so rather striving for heightened clarity, both vocals and instruments uphold a reasonably authentic timbre. Moving on to the treble now, and looking at the graph, you might think that these have an aggressive upper treble, but it's not really the case. By attenuating the upper mid-range lift, a P20 here is able to raise its upper treble without becoming overly bright or aggressive or brittle. An 8 kHz peak provides overall clarity, and the upper extension in the treble creates space and airiness up top and some upper harmonics. But due to the laid back lower treble, some details are lost. But I think Shozy has purposefully done this to maintain a more natural and engaging tone. Now this approach prioritizes a smoother presentation, ensuring that you can enjoy extended listening sessions without experiencing listener fatigue. And despite the slight sacrifice in detail retrieval, the P20's overall sound signature remains cohesive and inviting. It's sort of got a pleasing balance between clarity and musicality. Now, as far as technicalities go, the P20 boasts an elliptical soundstage. It extends wider than it does deep, and while it is adept at providing precise left to right stereo imaging with a nice stable center image, it does lack a bit of depth in the stage, and that results in limited layering in a sort of three-dimensional sense. Instrument separation is good, but detail retrieval is middling. Comparison time, and I'm starting off today with the Shure S12 Pro. This is a $169 IEM. Remember, the P20 is $139, so $30 difference there. Now, the S12 Pro has a brighter and more energetic sound signature. It puts more emphasis on the sub bass and less on the mid bass compared to the P20. S12 Pro's bass is more textured and it is a bit more agile. And the mids on the S12 Pro are slightly leaner. They have cleaner attacks compared to the P20, which has a more melodic musical mid-range. S12 Pro's treble is livelier and it facilitates better detail retrieval, but some people find this one aggressive, even not so much as the original S12, but some people still find the S12 Pro a little aggressive compared to, the P20, which has laid back highs. S12 Pro's soundstage is wider and better organized than it is on the P20, and moreover, the S12 Pro has more precise imaging and a blacker background, better instrument separation overall. It's a more technical sounding IEM, but you do have to pay a $30 premium. Oh, and in addition, it comes with the lovely modular cable too, so you're getting pretty good value for the S12 Pro. Next up is the Melody, and I don't have the cable here, so let's do that. Now, the Melody, the Kiwi Ears Melody, that is only $89, so it's significantly cheaper than the P20 here. They have a similar sound signature, but there are a couple of minor yet significant differences. Now, when it comes to bass, both of these IEMs are fairly hard to differentiate. Both have similar levels of technical performance and quantity of both sub bass and mid bass. The Melody's mid range is pulled back to ever so slightly more in the core mid range, which gives it a hint less body and more articulation. Melody has a small rise around 5 kHz to 7 kHz, giving it more clarity and presence, in addition to creating sharper instrument and vocal attacks. And these differences might seem minor, but as a result overall, the Melody has better detail retrieval, significantly better, better mid-range articulation, whereas the P20 has a silkier flowing character. So if you want something that's really smooth and laid back, the P20, it's not, by really smooth and laid back, I don't mean dark or thick, it's just very velvety and sort of musical, whereas the Melody, I would also characterize it as pretty musical, warm, full-bodied, but for some reason it just does have better detail retrieval specifically and slightly better imaging than the P20. Now, it sounds like I might be bagging on the P20. I'm really not. I think that it's an IEM that prioritizes tone, overall tonality, and engagement more than technicalities. I mean, it's still a planar driver, so it does have reasonably good technicalities, except for detail retrieval, where it is pretty mediocre. But overall, I think it's a good IEM, and I think it's worth $139, but it depends what you are looking for. If you're looking for something that you can sit back and pick up every minute little detail and say, I heard that, then these aren't for you. But if you just want something that is really fun to listen to and makes your favorite music sound great, then the P20 would be a good choice. And having said that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let me know down in the comments below, have you tried this and what do you think? And how do you feel about an IEM that is musical but glosses over some details? I know some IEMs can actually have details and a nice full-bodied warm sound, but you know, that's a story for another day. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. If you're new here, you want to see more audio content in the future, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.